It's good to hear that. Okay. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Adham Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Baran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishikam Vitam Scha Om Agyana Timiranda Shagana Jana Shalagya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Padanugam Govinda Vidam Ujvalam Bharatanam Bhaktiyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurunsha Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavananam Balarka Chelansitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Vansha Kopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabalanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurachavishe Namah. So we're continuing with our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Madhya Lila chapter 24, the 61 explanations of the Atmarama verse. So we're on text number 314. Artha Shuni Sanatana Bhishmita Haya Stuti Kore Mahaprabhu Charane Darya. After hearing all the explanations of all the different meanings of the Atmarama verse, Sanatana Goswami was struck with wonder. He fell down at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to offer prayers. Sakarishwara Tumi Brajendra Nandan Tomara Nishpase Sarva Veda Pravartan. Sanatana Goswami said, "My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. All the Vedic literatures are vibrated through your breathing. Tumi Bhakta Bhagavater, Tumi Jana Arta, Toma Bina Anya Janite Nahika Samarta." My dear Lord, you are the original speaker of the Bhagavatam. You therefore know its real import, but for you, no one can understand the confidential meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu kohe kene kora amarastavan Bhagavatera swarup kene nakora vicharan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Why are you glorifying me personally? You should understand the transcendental position of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why don't you consider this important point? Krishna Tulya Bhagavat Vibhu Sarvashrai Prati Shloke Prati Akare Nana Artakoi. Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna, the Supreme Lord and shelter of everything. In each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in each and every syllable, there are various meanings. Prashnottare Bhagavate Koryache Nirdar Jahara Shravane Loke Lage Chamatkar. The form of Srimad Bhagavatam is given in questions and answers. Thus the conclusion is established. By hearing these questions and answers, one is highly astonished. Bruhe Jogeshware Krishne Ramanye Dharmavarmani Swam Kashtam Adunopete Dharmakam Sharanam Gata. Now that Sri Krishna, the Absolute Truth, the Master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us by whom religious principles are presently protected. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam was a question raised by all the sages who were headed by Shonaka. This question put before the great devotee Sutta Goswami is the foremost of the 6 questions raised. The answer to this important question is given in the next verse, also from Srimad Bhagavatam. So now that Sri Krishna, the Absolute Truth, the Master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us by whom religious principles are presently protected. Krishna sva dhammo bhagate dharma jnanadi bisaha kalonashta drisham esha puranarko dunodita. After Lord Krishna departed for his abode, along with religious principles and transcendental knowledge, this Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, has arisen like the sun in this age of Kali to enlighten those who have no spiritual vision. Emata kohilon ekslokera bhyakyan batulera pralap kori ke kore praman. In this way, like a madman, I have explained the meaning of just one verse. I do not know who will take this as evidence. Mahaprabhu says to Sanatan. In this way, like a madman, I have explained the meaning of just one verse, the Atmarama verse. I do not know who will take this as evidence. Amahena jeba keho batula hoy edrishte bhagavater arta janai. If one becomes a madman like me, he may also understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam by this process. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu plainly explains that Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be understood by those who are materially situated. In other words, one has to become a madman like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Apart from being the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an acharya who exhibited love of God like a madman. According to his own written verse, Yugayitam Nimeshena, he says that for him a moment seems to last 12 years. Chakshusha Prabhrishayitam. My tears are flowing like torrents of rain. Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam. I feel as if the entire universe were vacant. Why? Govinda Vira Hename. Due to my being separated from Govinda, Krishna. One can understand Srimad Bhagavatam only by following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was mad for Krishna. We cannot, of course, imitate Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is not possible. However, unless one is very serious about understanding Krishna, he cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam gives the full narration of Krishna's transcendental activities. The first 9 cantos explain who Krishna is, and the Lord's birth and activities are narrated in the 10th canto. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Krishna's appearance and disappearance are transcendental, not mundane. A person is eligible to return home back to Godhead if he perfectly understands Krishna and his appearance and disappearance. This is verified by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. Chaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorjuna. It is therefore concluded that one has to learn about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, and one has to follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Those who do not follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot understand the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Puna Sanatana Kohe Juri Dui Kore Prabhu Agya Dila Vaishnava Smriti Kore Bare. Folding his hands, Sanatana Goswami said, My dear Lord, you ordered me to write a directory about the activities of Vaishnavas. This is the Hari Bhakti Vilas. You ordered me to write a book telling how Vaishnavas should act, how they should behave, what they should do. Okay. Folding his hands, Sanatana Goswami said, My Lord, you ordered me to write a directory about the activities of Vaishnavas. Muninicha jati kichuna janona char mohoite kaiche hoi smriti parachar. I'm a most low-born person. I have no knowledge of good behavior. How is it possible for me to write authorized directions about Vaishnav activities? Actually, Sanatana Goswami belonged to a very respectable Brahmin family. Nevertheless, he submitted himself as a fallen, low-born person because he had served in the Muslim government. A Brahmin is never supposed to engage in anyone's service. Serving others for a livelihood, paricharyat makam karma, is the business of Shudras. The Brahmin is always independent and busy studying Shastra and preaching Shastra to subordinate social members such as the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Sanatana Goswami felt unfit to write Vaishnava Smriti about the behavior of Vaishnavas because he had fallen from the Brahminical position. Thus, Sanatana Goswami clearly admits that the Brahminical culture should be standardized. Presently in India, so-called Brahmanas are almost all engaged in some mundane service, and they do not understand the import of the Vedic Shastras. Nevertheless, they are passing themselves off as Brahmins on the basis of birth. In this connection, Sanatana Goswami declares that a Brahmin cannot be engaged in anyone's service if he wants to take a leading part in society. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni states that even a Brahmin is in a difficult position. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni states that even if a Brahmin is in a difficult position, he should not accept the occupation of a Shudra. This means that he should not be engaged in service for another, for this is the business of dogs. Under the circumstance, Sanatana Goswami felt very low because he had accepted a position of service in the Muslim government. The conclusion is that no one should claim to be a Brahmin simply by birthright while engaging in someone else's service. Okay. Sutra kore disha jari koraha upadesh apane koraha jari hridaye pravesh. Sanatana Goswami then requested the Lord, please personally tell me how I can write this difficult book about Vaishnava behavior. Please manifest yourself in my heart. The writing of Vaishnava literature is not a function for ordinary men. Vaishnava literatures are not mental concoctions. They are all authorized literatures meant to guide those who are going to be Vaishnavas. Under these circumstances, an ordinary man cannot give his own opinion. His opinion must always correspond with the conclusion of the Vedas. Unless one is fully qualified in Vaishnava behavior and authorized by superior authority, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot write Vaishnava literatures or purports and commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. Tabitara disha sware monichara hridoi ishwara tumije koraha se siddhoi. If you would please manifest yourself within my heart and personally direct me in writing this book, then, although I am low-born, I may hope to be able to write it. You can do this because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead yourself, and whatever you direct is perfect. So Sanatana is asking, please personally tell me how I can write this difficult book about Vaishnava behavior. Please manifest yourself in my heart. And if you would please manifest yourself within my heart and personally direct me in writing this book, then although I am low-born, I may hope to be able to write it. You can do this because you are the Lord himself, and whatever you direct is perfect. Okay. Prabhu kohe jay korite koriba tumiman Krishna say tomak Korabe Swaran. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, whatever you want to do, you will be able to do correctly by Lord Krishna's favor. He will manifest the real purport. Tathapi e sutara shuna digdarshan shoka rana liki ado guru ashrayan. So Mahaprabhu says, Krishna will reveal to you everything that you need to do to be able to write this book. Because you asked me for a synopsis, please hear these few indications. In the beginning, describe how one must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So in the beginning of your book, tell how you have to accept a spiritual master as your guide. Guru Lakan, Sishya Lakan, Dohara Parikan, Sevya Bhagavan, Sarva Mantra, Vicharan. Your book should describe the characteristics of the bona fide guru and the bona fide disciple. Then, before accepting a spiritual master, one can be assured of the spiritual master's position. Similarly, the spiritual master can also be assured of the disciple's position. A Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, should be described as a worshipable object, and you should describe the Bij mantra for the worship of Krishna as well as that for Rama and for other expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you should give the characteristics of a spiritual master and give the characteristics also, meaning the qualities of a disciple. Then describe the Lord as the ultimate goal. Everything should be directed towards the service of the Lord, and you should describe the means of worship, or how to perform the worship. So what's to me is important here is Mahaprabhu says you should describe the qualities of a qualified spiritual master and the qualities of a qualified disciple. So normally we see that everybody is engaged in some discussion and everything about who is the real guru, who should people want to accept the qualified spiritual master, which of course is correct. But people don't normally give so much attention to whether they're qualified disciples or not, because that's also an important thing. One should be the spiritual master should have confidence in his disciple. So one should make oneself qualified as a disciple, not that just one, because we see there are many Param Vaishnavas like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj. There are many very qualified spiritual masters, but that doesn't mean all of their disciples were qualified. So we know that the spiritual master is qualified, but then we should also give attention that one should be a qualified disciple. Otherwise, one is wanting to get a Param Vaishnava as one's spiritual master, but then one doesn't show necessarily the what should be done as a disciple. I mean, one should satisfy one's spiritual master by one's activity and by one's service. That I'm saying. Now, of course, sometimes you could say, there was a saying, I remember often persons like Vaishnav Maharaj and Yuddha Manu Prabhu, they would always tell me, you're preaching to the choir. And that's true. We're here, we're talking to the devotees that are in the temple, and they already show some behavior of acting as disciples, because they're engaged in the process of devotional service and living in the temple and serving in the temple and all that. But so that means preaching to the choir. Like you're telling, everyone should come to Mangalarti, but the people who don't come to Mangalarti won't hear what you're saying because they don't come anyway. So, you're saying everyone should come to Mangalarti, but people who don't come to Mangalarti, how will they get that message? But here we're broadcasting, and that's what I think is good, because people hear the broadcast. But still, somebody who's living, 50 kilometers away or something, I can't expect that they're going to necessarily make it to Mangalarti. But then again, they can always get up early, sometime during the Brahma Muhurta, or before they go to work, or before they start with their duties in the household, and they can engage in some kind of service, like, for instance, preparing something for their children and offering it to the Lord with love and devotion. That's also nice. People are doing that. Anyway, go on. Mantra adhikari mantra siddhi aris shadan dikha prata smriti kritya socha achaman. And today is Ekadasi, so someone's not in the temple, but they should be following Ekadasi. And if they say, I'm a fallen soul, I don't follow Ekadasi. I do not accept that argument. I do not accept that. What's so difficult about a fallen soul? I'm a fallen soul, but what's so difficult about following Ekadasi? Instead of having toast, you can have something else. There are plenty of things to eat. Yeah. So, anyway. Mantra adhikari mantra siddhi adi shodan dika pratasmriti kritya socha achaman. You should discuss the qualifications necessary for receiving a mantra, the perfection of the mantra, the purification of the mantra, initiation, morning duties, remembrance of the Supreme Lord, cleanliness, and washing the mouth and other parts of the body. So this brings up a point, that we're performing two initiations. The first is called Harinam Diksha, and the other is just called Diksha, or Gayatri Mantra Diksha, etc. So really, when it comes to first initiation, we want to be very generous, because according to the line of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, until you receive the holy name from a spiritual master, you can chant the holy name during kirtan in the temple and all that. But it's not correct that you just go somewhere and buy a set of japa mala and start chanting. You haven't yet received the holy name from a spiritual master. So we want to be generous in who we give the holy name to, because we're considering that people are coming up to us for first initiation. And initiation is not just that you get first initiation and then your name changes and everybody's happy with that, and their name changes from John to Jananivas or something like that. So it's nice that someone gets a spiritual name, but the real importance of is to receive Harinam, that one gets the holy name from the spiritual master. Goloke Premidan Harinama Sankirtan. So the holy name is descending to us through the Vaishnava. And that's really important. So the point is, we want to be generous in giving out the holy name to many persons. So we're not always considering as Govinda Maharaj would say, the qualities and qualifications of persons. We're not always considering that, because we want people to chant the holy name. We want to be generous in giving that out. However, here it says, you should discuss the qualifications necessary for receiving a mantra, the perfection of the mantra, the purification of the mantra, initiation, morning duties, remembrance of the Supreme Lord, cleanliness, and washing the mouth and other parts of the body. Now that indicates that when one actually is going to receive Gayatri Mantra, and that's what's called Diksha, then there should be some qualifications necessary for a disciple, duties, how to receive the mantra, how to prepare chanting the mantra, how the perfection of the mantra, what you're supposed to do, the purification, initiation, morning duty, remembrance of the Supreme Lord, cleanliness, and washing the mouth and other parts of the body. All that is expected when one is chanting the Gayatri Mantra. And that then on the giving out the holy name, Harinam Diksha, we want to be open in giving that out. We're not requiring that somebody has to be chanting a name that they never received for 1 year on beads that they shouldn't have purchased. But, we want to be generous in giving that out. But when it comes to second initiation, then we talked earlier about the qualities of a disciple. Those qualities should come into play here. How to properly conduct oneself as a Vaishnava. Then when one gets second initiation, then that initiation will enable someone to go onto the altar, to do worship, to cook in the temple for the deities, to do so many activities. And then there's duties required of the disciple. Should be clean, should cleanse before chanting Gayatri. One should be properly clean. One should be wearing clean cloth. One should put on tilak. One should sit down in a clean place. One should chant the Gayatri in the proper way. Then that will be. And then we know we're supposed to do some Gayatri initiation this weekend. So during the Gayatri initiation, it says the disciple says, will you gather firewood? And the disciple said, yes. What this really means is that I'm giving you're receiving second initiation. You can do fire sacrifices. You're a Brahmin. You're receiving that. So will you gather firewood? Yes. Then other things like that are required for worship. And then a spiritual master says, and I will not sleep during the day. And the disciple says, yes. Well, but sometimes we see devotees are resting during the day. So we would just say that one shouldn't be lazy. One should be active. Anyway, Danta Dhavana Snana Sandhyadi Bandhan Guru Seva Urdhva Pundra Chakradhidaran. You should describe how in the morning one should regularly brush his teeth, take his bath, offer prayers to the Lord, and offer obeisances to the spiritual master. You should describe how in the morning one should regularly brush his teeth, take his bath, offer prayers to the Lord, and offer obeisances to the spiritual master. You should also describe how one should render service to the spiritual master and paint one's body or mark one's body in 12 places with Urdhva Pundra tilak, as well as how one should stamp one's body with the holy names of the Lord or the symbols of the Lord, such as the disc and club. We are not so much engaged in that, like stamping the holy names. So these are something mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas that sometimes someone can do. I remember one time I had a wooden tilak stamp, and I was stamping tilak on my body, and I was a fairly new devotee, and someone said, "Why are you doing that, rather than marking your body with tilak?" I said, "Well, a stamp is nice." And then the person said, "Have you ever seen Prabhupada using a stamp like that?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, I rest my case." So after that, I stopped using this stamp. As Prabhupada was showing one how to mark one's body with tilak. And we have prayers for marking the body with tilak and everything. So that should be done. You should describe how in the morning one should regularly brush one's teeth, take bath, offer prayers to the Lord, and offer obeisances to the spiritual master. You should also describe how one should render service to the spiritual master and mark one's body in 12 places with Urdhva Pundra tilak, as well as how one should stamp one's body with the holy names of the Lord or the symbols of the Lord, such as the disc and club. Gopi Chandan Mayadriti Tulasi Aharan Bastrapita Griha Samskara Krishna Pramudan. After this, you should describe how one should decorate one's body with Gopi Chandan, wear neck beads, collect tulasi leaves from the tulsi tree, clean one's cloth and the altar, cleanse one's own house or apartment, and go to the temple and ring the bell just to draw the attention of Lord Krishna. You know that when you come into the temple, there's sometimes a bell there so that you can sound that when you come into the temple, etc.
Maharaj, in different temples, there's normally like a little bell near the door. What is the significance of that?
If somebody really wants to follow that, they can just knock on the door lightly, and some sound they're making. If you can put up a bell, or you can knock, or you can just come into the temple and bow down. I mean, there are things mentioned here that this is a Hari Bhakti Vilas. It mentions a lot of points which are telling you all the details of devotional service. Some things are more important than others. Now, having a bell is not a bad thing, but I mean, our proper behavior and how one acts in the temple, it's better than if one just rings a bell but then acts badly in the temple. That's not. Of course, I'm not saying one at the expense of the other, but Pancha Shodasha, Panchashat, Upachara Archan, Pancha Kala, Puja Arati, Krishnara, Bhojana Shayan. Also describe deity worship wherein one should offer food to Krishna at least 5 times daily, and in due time place him on a bed. You should also describe the process for offering arti and the worship of the Lord according to the list of 5, 16, or 50 ingredients. So these are all points of deity worship. Now, I was talking to one devotee, Hari Bandhu called me yesterday from Colombia. Very, very nice devotee, Hari Bandhu. And he's an expert wood craftsman. He works very good with making wood things. So he was engaged in making beds for deities which were going to be installed in the temple in Medellin. So that's very nice, that putting the deities to rest and all these things. They're very affectionate things of the pujari. Thus, Shri Murti Lakan Ara Shalagrama Lakan Krishna Ch.Ch Yadra Krishna Murti Darshan. The characteristics of the deities should be discussed, as well as the characteristics of the Shalagram Shila. You should also discuss visiting the deities in the temple and touring holy places like Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, or Navadip, etc. Now, we don't so much worship Shalagram Shila. That's more the province of Brahmins. They worship Shalagram Shila, but we worship Govardhan Shila, which is very nice. Krishna is non-different from Govardhan Shila. So that's okay. And we continue.
And Maharaj, the Shalagram Shila is also Krishna, right?
Of course. I said non-different from Krishna.
Okay. You meant Govardhan Shila is Krishna and Shalagram Shila is something.
And what's that?
And Shalagram Shila is something else. No?
Shalagram Shila is more towards Vishnu worship, Vishnu puja. Mama Mahima Namapara Duri Barjan Vaishnava Lakan Seva Parada Kandan. You should glorify the holy name and explain that one must carefully give up offenses when chanting the holy name. You should also describe the symptoms of a Vaishnava and explain that one must give up or nullify all kinds of seva parad offenses and deity worship. So you're supposed to give up nama-parads, offenses to the holy name, and seva-parads, aparads in doing worship or in doing service. Because seva-parad isn't just in deity worship, it's also offense. Seva-parad is offenses of seva. Like, we should not think that seva is just some mundane activity that I'm working. Like I've come to the temple and I'm working, but no one's paying me. They don't pay me. I work hard, but no one pays me. Well, then you don't understand what seva is. You should be happy to be able to receive seva. And sometimes devotees tell me that. I'm coming to the temple, but nobody's telling me what seva I can do. I want to do seva. So that's true. One wants to have some seva. So one should avoid nama baraj and seva baraj. Shankajala Ganda Pushpa Dupari Lakan Jabastuti Parikrama Dandavat Bandhan. The items of worship such as water, conch shell, flowers, incense, and lamp should be described. You should also mention chanting softly, offering prayers. That means chanting japa, chanting softly on beads, offering prayers, circumambulating and offering obeisances. All these should be carefully described. Now, japa can be chanted different ways. Japa can be chanted in one's mind. Japa can be chanted softly to oneself, and japa can be chanted also more loudly. So, but generally, when you chant japa, you can chant in your mind or you can chant softly. If you're going to chant loudly, then you should maybe go to a place where you won't disturb other people by your loud chanting. And there is also some considerations of that. And not that one, in the presence of one's spiritual master, one shouldn't chant japa loudly. That's like the guru doesn't need to receive the holy name from you. So, some consideration. The items of worship such as water, conch shell, flowers, incense, and lamps should be described. You should also mention chanting softly, offering prayers, circumambulating, and offering obeisances. All these should be carefully described. Okay. Puruscharan Bidi Krishna Prashada Bhojan Ani Bedita Tyaga Vaishnava Nindari Varjan. Other items you should describe are the method of performing Puruscharan, taking Krishna Prasad, giving up unoffered food, and not blaspheming the Lord's devotees. Other items you should describe are the method of performing Puruscharan, taking Krishna Prasadam, giving up unoffered food, and not blaspheming the Lord's devotees. Okay. Sadhu Lakan, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sevan, Sat Sangha Tyaga, Sri Bhagavat Shravan. You should describe the symptoms of a devotee, Sadhu Lakan, how to associate with devotees, Sadhu Sangha, how to satisfy a devotee by rendering service, Sadhu Sevan, and how to give up the association of non-devotees, the Sat Sangha Tyaga, giving up association of those persons who are asat, who are not devotionally inclined. You should also explain the value of regularly hearing the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Bhagavata Shravan, hearing Sri Bhagavat. Now, Sadhu Lakan, it's the qualities of a devotee. Here, Sadhu is being mentioned as a devotee, but this will also be understood to be what are the qualities of a saintly person, someone who's a saintly devotee, how one should behave with that devotee, what are his qualities, how to associate with that kind of person, how to serve them, we could say how to serve, the qualities like the Vaishnavas, what are the qualities of Vaishnava, what is Vaishnava association, and what is the service that one should do towards the Vaishnavas. Dina Kritya Paka Kritya Ekadasi Adi Vivaran Mashakritya Janmas Stam Yari Bidi Bichara. And you should describe the duties to be performed every day. And you should also describe the fortnightly duties, especially how to observe the fortnightly Ekadasi fast. And today is Ekadasi. You should also describe the duties to be observed every month, and you should especially describe the observance of ceremonies like Janmashtami, Ram Navami, and Nishringa Chaturdasi. So we had Ram Navami and we had Nishringa Chaturdasi, and the next will be Janmashtami. Ekadasi, Janmashtami, Vamandwarasi, Sri Raman Navami, Aranashinga Chaturdasi, Ekadasi, Janmashtami, Vamanadwarasi, Ramanam, Ramnami, and Nrsimha Chaturdasi. All these should be described. Esabe Bridatyag Avidakaran Akarane Dosha Koile Bhaktira Lamban. You should recommend the avoidance of mixed Ekadasi and the performance of pure Ekadasi. So that's something that we're giving attention to. You see, on the calendar it says this day is Ekadasi, but it's a mixed Ekadasi, so the Ekadasi is performed on the next day. So some days, because of the calculations of titis, that one should avoid mixed Ekadasis and serve the Shuddha Ekadasi, the pure Ekadasi. You should also describe the fault in not observing Ekadasi. One should be very careful as far as these items are concerned. If one is not careful, one will be negligent in executing devotional service. So we see that sometimes people say it's too much trouble to observe Ekadasi. But that's not a very good thing to do. I mean, we could go into that. Sarvatra Praman Dibe Purana Bachan Srimurti Vishnu Mandir Karana Lakan. Whatever you say about Vaishnav's behavior, the establishment of Vaishnava temples and deities and everything else should be supported by evidence from the Puranas. Samanya Shad Achar Ara Vaishnavachar Kartavya Sab Smarta Vyavahar. You should give general and specific descriptions of the behavior and activities of a Vaishnava. You should give general and specific descriptions of the behavior and activities of a Vaishnava. You should outline things that are to be done and things that are not to be done. All this should be described as regulations and etiquette. You should give general and specific descriptions of the behavior and activities of a Vaishnava. You should outline things that are to be done and things that are not to be done. All this should be described as regulations and etiquette. So regulations we know about, and etiquette, one shouldn't go against the Vaishnava etiquette. Sankepi Sutra Kohilun Digdarshan Jabitumi Likiba Krishna Korabe Swaran. I've thus given a synopsis of the Vaishnava regulative principles. I've given this in brief just to give you a little direction. When you write on this subject, Krishna will help you by spiritually awakening you. Eta Kohilu Prabhur Sanatane Prasad Jahara Shravane Chitter Kande Abasad. Thus I have narrated Lord Chaitanya's mercy upon Sanatana Goswami. When one hears these topics, one's heart will be cleansed of all contamination. Nijagrante Karnapur Vistara Korea Sanatane Prabhura Prasad Roki Ch.Ch Likiya. The authorized poet Kavi Karnapur has written a book named Chaitanya Chandrodoya Nataka. This book tells how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Sanatana Goswami with his special mercy. Godendrasya Sabha Vibhushana Manis Chaktvaya Hridam Shriyam Rupasya Graja Esha Eva Tarunim Vairagya Lakshmindade Antarbhakti Rasena Purnaridayo Bhaye Vadutakriti Shaiva Lai Pihitam Mahasaraiva Priti Pradastadvidam. Srila Sanatana Goswami, the elder brother of Srila Rupa Goswami, was a most important minister in the government of Hussein Shah, the ruler of Bengal, and he was considered a most brilliant gem in that assembly. He possessed all the opulences of a royal position, but he gave up everything just to accept the youthful goddess of renunciation. Although he externally appeared to be a mendicant who had renounced everything, he was filled with the pleasure of devotional service within his heart. Thus he can be compared to a deep lake covered with moss. He was the object of pleasure for all the devotees who knew the science of devotional service. So Srila Sanatana Goswami, the elder brother of Srila Rupa Goswami, was the most important minister in the government of Hussein Shah, the ruler of Bengal, and he was considered the most brilliant gem in that assembly. He possessed all the opulences of a royal position, but he gave up everything just to accept the youthful goddess of renunciation. Although he externally appeared to be a mendicant who had renounced everything, he was filled with the pleasure of devotional service within his heart. Thus he can be compared to a deep lake covered with moss. He was the object of pleasure for all the devotees who knew the science of devotional service.
The youthful goddess of renunciation.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Tam Sanatanam Upagatam Akshnor Drishtamatram Atimatra Dayardra Atilinga Pari Gayata Dorbhyam Shanukampam Ata Champaka Gora. As soon as Sanatana Goswami arrived in front of Lord Chaitanya, the Lord, seeing him, became merciful to him. The Lord, who has the complexion of a golden champak flower, opened his arms and embraced him while expressing great affection. Kalena Vrindavana Kelivarta Lupteti Tam Kapaitum Visishya Kripam Ritena Bibi Kripam Ritena Visishecha Devas Tatraivam Rupam Cha Sanatanam Cha Kalena Vrindavana Kelivarta Lupteti Tam Kyayapit Kalena Vrindavana Kelivarta Lupteti Tam Kyapayitum Visishya Kripam Ritena Visishecha Steva Kalena Vrindavana Kelivarta Lupteti Tam Kyapayitum Visishya Kripam Ritena Vishishecha Devas Tatraiva Rupam Cha Sanatanam Cha. In the due course of time, the transcendental news of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan was almost lost. To enunciate explicitly those transcendental pastimes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami with the nectar of his mercy to carry out this work in Vrindavan. Eta kohilun sanatane prabhura prasad jahara shravane chitera kande avasad. I have thus explained the mercy bestowed on Sanatana Goswami by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one hears this description, all moroseness in the heart will diminish. Krishnera Swarupa Ganera Sakala Hoy Gyan Vidirag Marge Sadhana Bhakti Rabat Bidan By reading these instructions to Sanatana Goswami, one will become fully aware of Lord Krishna's various expansions and the process of devotional service according to the regulative principles and spontaneous love. Thus, everything can be fully known. Krishna Prema Bhakti Ras, Bhakti Ras Siddhanta, Ihara Shravane Bhakta Janena Sabanta. By reading these instructions, a pure devotee can understand love of Krishna, the mellows of devotional service, Bhakti Ras, and the conclusion of devotional service, Bhakti or Siddhanta. So you can understand Krishna Prem, Bhakti Ras, and Bhakti or Siddhanta. Everyone can understand all these things to their ultimate end by studying these instructions. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Dvaita Charan Jara Prana Dhanase Pai Edan. The conclusion of these instructions can be known to one whose life and soul are the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu. Sri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta report to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, describing the Atmarama verse and the Lord's mercy upon Sanatana Goswami.
One time, Maharaj, you said, I think it was Saturday, I was not here, but I heard it. You said, Srila Govinda Maharaj was the living presentation of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Well, what I said was that by being with Srila Govinda Maharaj, I could see through him what is being, like a window, what is being described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That his way of acting, his humor, what he took as prasadam, how he acted with the devotees and everything. It was like seeing, living, and also his attraction for Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was like looking through a window or seeing what is being described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so that you can understand it's not just an ancient book, but it's something that's there, living in the activities and behavior and everything, the humor, the qualities of a Param Vaishnava like Srila Govinda Maharaj. That's what I felt. And somebody said, well, people see that in you. And I would say, well, that is a very, very, very subjective thing. So now we'll sing Hari Haraya. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna Ch.Ch Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jahoite Vignana Shavista Puran Ch.Ch Gosai Jarmui Taradas Tasabara Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Kader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas Janame Janame More Abilas Ch.Ch Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamana Shri Hari Basari Hari Kirtana Bidan Nitya Rambila Prabhu Jagatera Pran 267 267 Shri Hari Basari Hari Kirtana Vidan Nitya Rambila Prabhu Jagatera Pran Punyavanta Shiva Sangane Shubharamba Utilo Kirtana Dhwani Gopala Govinda Mridanga Mandira Bhaje Shankhakarata Sankirtana Sange Sab Hoilo Misha Brahman De Utila Dwani Puriya Akasha Jodikera Amangala Jai Sabnasha Chaturdike Shri Hari Mangala Sankirtan Modinache Jagannatha Misharanandan Sabara Angete Shobhe Shri Chandana Mala Nande na choye sobe hoye bibola. Nidyanande nache Mahaprabhu Vishwambara. Sharanada tale shuni ate manohara. Baba Veshe mala nahe rohaye galaya. Chinya padoye giya bakatera gaya. Jaranama nande shiva basana na jane. Jara se nache shiva se nache apone. Jaraname baumiki hoilo tapodana. Jaraname ajamila bailo mochana. Jaraname shabane samsara banda guche. Eno Prabhu avatari kali juge nache. Jananama loy shuka narada bedaya. Sahasrabadana Prabhu jara guna gaya. Sarva Mahaprayas Ch.Ch Prabhuranama. Say Prabhu Nachaye Deke Jatta Bhagyavan. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chandajana. Vrindavana Dasha Tuchu Parachu Gejana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chandajana. Vrindavana Dasha Tuchu Vrindavana Dasha Tuchu Parachu Gejana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Goranga Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadhya Shimad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadhya Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadhya Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Prem Se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Vishvaparenya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. London Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Madharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shamakunda Radhakunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Adam Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsingadev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhar Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Ekadasi Upavas Ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari.